And the first is a guy who's done a lot of things. He was in the team when they started PODIO. He's one of the founders in 23. He's an angel investor in tons of startups, and he has great and interesting opinions on many things. So, Thomas MadsenMygdal, take the stage.
Thank you. Okay. Hello. We work. Okay. So I've been really thinking about what I should be sharing with you today because there are so many options. I could talk about a product. I could talk about bootstrapping a company. I could talk about visions of changing this and that. But what I really thought would be interesting is a topic that's been of dear interest to me lately, and that is what are the reasons we construct for why we do what we do. You know, obviously I'm excited about changing how people work, banking, how people communicate, etc. It's all exciting. But what is it really actually? Why is it I'm excited about it? And I wanted to share you a little on that. First image I want to start off with giving you is in the 60s. And I know you're all thinking Mad Men, Don Draper, Hendrix. But the image I want to give you is the machine. We're just after the Second World War. We're the epicenter of the industrial society. Wars have been won, amazing machines have been created. Things people thought were not possible were suddenly there. Computers started arriving, and there are all these discussions about what it should be used for. People were dreaming about artificial intelligence. You know, HAL, you know, 2001 Space Odyssey, something that's even greater than mankind, something that's better than humans. We're in the epicenter of our industrial thinking where we're trying to reduce everything to a machine. One might say we're even trying to reduce ourselves as human beings to machines. And that's the era where something really interesting happened. So next image, we're at a conference like this. There's about 2,000 people in attendance, 2,500. We're in 1968, where this guy does what later has been called the mother of all demos. So how to do a demo, definitely look it up. Doug Engelbart. In 1968, he does a demo where he shows a whole new way of thinking about computers. He shows hypertext, video conferencing, real-time collaboration, what you see, what you get, word processors. He shows the mouse. He invented the mouse in that demo, showed the mouse for the first time, the graphical user interface. And there's even a lot of stuff in that demo that we don't really even have today yet, 45 years later. All this stuff was later copied and is in all the tools and the machines we're using today. But the front most important thing he actually brought forward was a whole new perspective on what we should be using tools and machines for. His vision and what he committed his life to at a very early age after the Second World War was to augment human intellect. That might sound slightly academic, but what it really meant was his vision was that we were using these machines and tools to become even more human, to be able to achieve more as humans. Not about reducing ourselves or making ourselves, you know, something that the machine controlled. His vision was that what happens if we provide people with the tools, the methods, and the processes to actually become more human? And that's what he spent the rest of his life doing. All his stuff was copied to Xerox PARC. Most of his people went on to Xerox PARC. At Xerox PARC, obviously, very famously, Steve Jobs had gotten Xerox to invest $1 million in Apple, and he was allowed in for 2 visits, I think it was, a couple of hours to see what they had in their labs, and out of that came what we all today perceive as computers and computing in general. But more importantly, it was the whole notion of what it is we were using these tools for, why we're building them. We're not building them to reduce ourselves to machines or to become obedient servants of the machines, but something else. So every day you're using these tools, every day you're using your iPhone, the underlying idea of the creators are to empower you to do more, not just to be somebody that is controlled by the machine. So what does this mean in the real world? It means that what I always see is that we always have this struggle about what it is we're building these tools for. Real world examples, in a company called Halvi, a Finnish company, we're currently trying to build what comes after banks, more than a bank. And that's a world where the tools are currently used to create financial derivatives with complex formulas that no mankind can even understand. What we're trying to do is basically to empower and augment human beings in groups and collaboration to do economic activity and collaboration together, exchange money for services or whatever it might be. It's really, really simple. In PODIO, we came in a world where it was all about control and lockdown of tools and IT departments deciding, and we had a very, very, very simple idea. What happened if we augmented people to actually create their own tools, supported people to work the way they wanted, instead of an IT department deciding? In 23, we're building a tool to build video-centric websites, actually recently launched in Norway here. And everyone in the beginning were CMS systems are all about control. It's all about managing who can publish what. And from day one, we chose, no, it's about empowering people. We don't care about that. And even to this date, it's used by some of the largest companies in Europe, and they don't have any issues with all the people that are in the back-end system being able to do everything and can delete all kinds of stuff, etc., because it's a trusted system. So what happens in a world if we take on the glasses of not trying to reduce ourselves to machines or becoming servants of the systems, but actually build systems and tools, organizations, societies that makes us more human? Beautiful human beings, crappy and irritating, and wonderfully bright and capable of doing amazing things that a machine never can do. So my pledge to you guys is, augment the world, please. Thank you.